Hi everyone, welcome to the channel dedicated to sharing the profound insights and wisdom of Andromedan contactee Alex Collier. If you're new here, you're in for a journey that expands your mind and consciousness, bringing you closer to understanding the messages from the fifth density Andromedan extraterrestrials. For those returning, we're grateful for your continued support. Before we dive into today's enlightening content, we have a small favor to ask. If you find value in the knowledge shared in this video, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your engagement helps us amplify Alex Collier's message, allowing us to reach a larger audience with these vital messages. We'd also love to hear from you, so please engage with the comments below. Whether it's a question, your thoughts, or even just an emoji for the sake of engagement, every comment counts. We read every single comment, and your feedback is incredibly valuable to us, as it all contributes to our mission of expanding this community. So please don't hesitate to leave your thoughts below. Additionally, if you'd like to support us further, consider giving a super thanks tip by clicking the heart with the $sign. This small gesture allows us to continue bringing you more of Alex's messages, unfiltered and directly from his lifelong experiences with the Andromedans. Today's video includes a compilation of several of the many important questions Alex Collier has received over the past few years, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video.
Dear Alex, what sort of changes and on what scale are happening right now with the direct help of benevolence? What is their ultimate goal? And what part do they expect we, Terrans, to have to actively play now to invest in our bright future?
JP, I'm sorry, the Netherlands? Was that?
Benevolent.
Oh, benevolent.
The benevolence in the Netherlands. No, just benevolence. What's their ultimate goal?
To be unconditionally responsible for ourselves without having to be coerced by some higher authority. To unconditionally be responsible for ourselves without being coerced to accept some higher authority. Family. It's about family. It's about, you want to be part of the galaxy? You want to be part of the star nations? Do you want to evolve and grow? Then the male energy has got to bend its ego and learn the art of love. The feminine principle needs to learn how to heal its heart so that it can continue to be love and teach the art of love to future generations. And that's the pernicious poisoning that humanity finds itself in. You know, many men have become full of self-imposed loneliness. They've learned a pattern of behavior that, well, quite frankly, is destructive. They need to be a more responsible partner, the male energy, clearly. And the feminine principle needs to stand up for itself, defend itself, but at the same time want to partner with the male energy and assist and support the partnership. But both the male and the female have to go through some healing. But we won't get to that place until we fully recognize how we've been manipulated into these places. Ultimately, we all made decisions that we wish we could take back. We've all been in the position where we made a decision to withhold love, and we wish we could take it back. Many of us are in the position where we have regrets, which are very, very difficult to live with. And we wish we could take those back. How will that play out in the end? I don't know. But all we can do is what we can do in the moment. Because that's what we have, is the moment. And in the moment, we can change who and what we are and behave practicing the art of love. And invest in that. That's all we can do, is make better decisions now. You know? Wisdom comes from experience, and experience comes from poor decisions. We've all been there. But you have to let the past go, otherwise you drag it with you and you don't get to the future. Because you're always looking back at the shit you're carrying with you. How does that serve anybody? At some point, we have to let it go so that we can spring forward into the future that we all want. And to spring forward into becoming the person we really know we can be. You know, with or without the regrets. The reality we have now isn't working for everyone. And what we need to do is we need to put our heads together, put our hearts together, and move towards a future that benefits everyone. Humans. Okay, those of us on the planet, Terrans. There has to be a way to make that work. And I am positive we can get there with not only some mentoring, but without all the distractions of destruction, hate, anger, misery. I mean, it's crazy. We are sending satellites and starships out of our solar system. Why are people starving here? Right? We're going to build, well, we already have space. We already have complexes on the moon and on Mars. But, you know, they're going to practice another charade of sending us to Mars and all of that. Okay, so we're going to go colonize other planets. Why are there still homeless here? It doesn't make sense. It's a complete contradiction. You don't run to the moon and Mars to build a place for people to live when you haven't solved the issues here. I mean, this is like common sense, right? It's a no-brainer, you would think. The money California has spent on stupid shit, they could have fixed the entire homeless problem they had. They could have done it. But the truth is they don't give a shit. They really don't. They have their own agenda. They talk about all this stuff about helping minorities, but they don't give a shit. They really don't. No, they don't. They have their own agenda. And it's about consolidating more energy, more power, more wealth. That's what it's about. Okay, I'm going to get myself in trouble.
If I can never pronounce this, I'm tempted to say Thoth, but Thoth looked human. Why did the Egyptians depict him with the face of a bird and the body of a man? Also, where was Thoth's genetic lineage from?
Thoth. You're talking about Thoth. That's
Thoth.
an interesting question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thoth. Tot. I don't know.
I want you to look at this idea. And the movie Stargate, which I talked about for many years, is really, really well done. And I think you can get it online for nothing. I want you to look at this idea. The actual lineage of Thoth is difficult to say because the Nibiruan tribe is made up of many different cultures. There have been many interrelated marriages, some for love, most were for political reasons, bringing different houses from different cultures and different races together for political reasons. Now, many of the ancients were depicted based on their totem, something that they saw or recognized as a talent or a skill or something that they love to do. Now, if I recall, Thoth is the falcon, if I remember correctly. Well, was he one of the original falconers? Did he bring those particular birds to Earth? Did he breed them? As a falconer, is that something he was doing in other worlds? Being a falconer? Was he known as his totem? Did he wear a helmet? Because he was in fact extraterrestrial. Did that help change the composition of gases in the atmosphere into something that he could breathe? I mean, when I'm with the A's, they put the belt on me and it does essentially the exact same thing. It changes the composition of the gases in the atmosphere so that I can draw from them, but it changes it into something that I can breathe that will sustain my physical body. Could that be the exact same thing that was going on then? With Thoth or Ra or Horus, to any of them, they all have their totems. They have their animal totem. That's not unusual. Many of the Egyptian pharaohs did the exact same thing. Many of the Sumerians and Chaldeans, from what I understand, did the same thing. Again, it's complicated. I don't have that answer other than I've shared with you the knowledge that I have that they wore equipment because their world was not exactly like Earth's. So they would need an apparatus that would mix the gases in our atmosphere into something that would be breathable and easy for them. If that is in fact the case, they had some really cool technology. Their space helmets were just awesome compared to what our astronauts use. But you have to understand that we've had many different cultures, star nations that have come here. Some that breathed arsenic, some that only breathed chloride, ammonia, carbon dioxide, methane, and others, some of which we don't even have on this planet. When they would come and visit, they would have to wear an apparatus that would allow them to be present on Earth because they couldn't breathe the gases or the mixture of gases on our planet in order to be here physically on the ground for whatever amount of time it was. So it's interesting stuff. And we'll know about that. For example, the stories about bringing the kids up from underground. They're having to do it slowly because they're having to adapt not only to the gravity of the surface, but the pressure, air pressure as well, because they've been raised miles underground and the quality of the air and the gases there are different than that on the surface. So they're having to slowly migrate them up to the surface. They can't just bring them up here because it'll kill them. This is a similar thing. Those of you who have dived, you've gone way down underneath the water. If you come up too quickly, you'll get the bends. And what is the bends? It's the mixture of gases in your bloodstream that causes your body to react. So you have to come up slowly. This is the same. This would be the exact same type of a process, except you're coming from space down to the surface of a planet that is far different than your home world. That's my take on it. That's a good question. Don't get that asked a lot. I don't get to share that information much. So, good question.
William and Stephanie say it was an ibis.
What?
Ibis, IBIS, a bird with a long beak thing.
Okay, an ibis, whatever it is. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I think Horus was the falcon, right? Yeah. Okay, an ibis.
Probably. Mm-hmm. Okay, and with 7 votes. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying they're all totems, symbols.
Is the goal of the current geoengineering of the atmosphere with the release of harmful chemicals and harmful other additives to reduce the world population in an attempt to create illness and disease, a slow death process, or is it done to help terraform the planet to make the top surface more habitable for a certain race of ETs who may be living underground at present?
That's a great question. Ooh, I like that one. Thank you for that. Well, it's more likely all of the above. So we know chemtrails have been around for quite some time. We also know that they have chemical components in it that have been in the spray that are harmful to a great deal of life. We also know that I think in the last 5 to 10 years, they put nanoparticles inside the spray. We also know that the thinking that they've shared is to block out some of the sunlight to make the planet cooler. Okay, well, that was the original plan, and that obviously hasn't worked up until now. We now see signs that the planet is in fact beginning to cool off as opposed to heat up. If the light from the sun, the UV light from the sun, were to be dimmed to a specific level, then many of those that were underground would be able to walk on the surface. That would be a real problem. In most cases, that would be a real problem. because many of the beings that have lived underground do not have any respect for humanity. Some do, some don't. Now, there was a while where chemtrails completely stopped. And occasionally I will see a chemtrail in the sky or a plane flying over here in the Rockies. I am undecided as to whether or not it's the dark side still doing their shit, or if the spray that is now in this atmosphere is there to neutralize all the pollution that was put up there previously, to neutralize the nanoparticles and all the chemical components. Because when you set off to do something like this and to poison a humanity, you don't do it without already having the cure or the fix. Okay? So, is that what's in the sky now is the fix? There are some places, there are some people on the internet and within intelligence circles that say yes. I do not know that 100%, that that's what it is. I want to believe that, because I believe in the future of humanity. I believe in the future of us. And I've been blessed to have been given input and perspective about us from a race that has spent a great deal of time observing who we are and has studied our history. And even though we're young and careless and probably way too trusting as a civilization, they are in awe of our resilience, our strength, our bravery, our desire to continue against all odds to have family and to look and share love. I think one of the greatest things that's going to happen to humanity is learning about our depth. And it's probably going to take an off-world civilization to share their perspective about how they view our depth, about how they view us. Because we're so busy struggling every day to get through every day, to feed our families, to get to work, to pay our bills, to get a stupid computer to work, that we forget about the little things that matter every single day in our homes, in our relationships, the little things. And it's all those little things that create depth, that build relationships. Hi, here's a coffee. Can I get you anything? God bless. I hope you feel better. How are your children? Those moments of genuine caring and concern and showing genuine interest and mutual respect. That not only make us who we are, but enriches our lives every single day. And if we're not paying attention to it, we take it for granted. we'll take it for granted, and then we won't acknowledge it. And then after a while, we won't even see it. And yet it's there in front of us all the time. It's that goddamn matrix, It just tweaks things just a little bit, and it throws everything off. Well, the same is with you. If you're not present, if we are not present in the moment, any of us, it's easy to get distracted or caught up in a drama that doesn't mean shit. It really doesn't. It ends up just being a distraction. But you've wasted all this time not paying attention to the things you should. And remember this, we are physical beings. The ultimate currency is, in fact, time. We only get so much in these bodies. Until that changes, that's what it is. So I think that's going to be the biggest change with humanity. Getting back to the question of the chemicals in the sky, I was told they were going to clean that up. The A's said that the technology already existed to clean it up very, very quickly, and the oceans as well. And I think that the Japanese know that. I think the Japanese, I heard they're getting ready to dump millions of gallons of radioactive water into the Pacific. I hope they don't. I would hope that before that water's dumped, it's cleaned already with assistance, regardless of how that happens. And if for some reason it can't happen in their facilities, that it's being cleaned literally at the source of the dumping into the Pacific. Because the technology does exist. The chemicals, the minerals that are used in filters to radiate a pulse frequency in the water to neutralize those type of atoms, radioactive atoms and the such. The moons in which that's on are already in our solar system. They were already brought here. So the mineral is here to do it. Now, whether or not 1, 2, or 3 members, 3 different space forces are working on this, whether or not it's being already dealt with in special access projects or black budget programs somewhere, I don't know. I would hope so. But the technology does in fact exist. The other is power, is electrical. We talked about cold fusion earlier. Nikola Tesla in the early 1900s demonstrated wireless electricity. He built an antenna outside Colorado Springs and sent power wirelessly to Denver. And it worked. It worked. So the technology's here. We know for a fact that it works. That is something that could be done. Is it harmful to wildlife? I don't know that. But, surely by now we would have the ability to make that technology feasible and work for everyone. Taking down power lines, telephone poles which are soaked with creosote would be a very good thing. There is more we don't know than we do know. And that's a very sad commentary, actually. And the fault lies with us, I think. I think at some point we stopped being curious. And whether it's conditioning or not, when we stopped being curious, we became compliant and obedient. And it's unfortunate that, which will be proven, that we completely trusted all the wrong people and all the wrong religious structures, spiritual structures, governmental structures. The local structures were pretty much just following the lead of state and federal structures, regardless of the country you're in. We have to be diligent about taking back our country. And that means on all levels. And that means getting involved in local politics, state politics, because now you're vested. And if you're vested, you have a voice. You have a right to complain. Because you're vested, you're involved. You are part of the decision-making process. You are part of the discussions about creating the future. And it is our planet. It doesn't belong to the government. It's our planet. And where it goes and how it gets there, we have a damn say. We just do. And we've got to demand it, and we have to make it happen, and we don't ever, ever, ever surrender it. And when in future generations, as we raise them, right off the bat, you have these rights. You never let anybody offend those, okay, or violate those rights that you have as a human being. As a society, as a culture, these are the rules. You have to be involved in this. You have to look at this. You have to study this. You have to know about it. And if you have any input, you offer it. You participate in local meetings. You get involved, because what happens is that now not only do you understand and you know, but you also know everybody that's involved. And you build your community this way. You extend your family this way. And you create friendships that will last a lifetime. And again, all of that adds depth to who we are.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found it insightful, please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on future updates. If you have any questions relating to today's video, please also leave them below. We read all the comments and take on board what our viewers have to say about Alex Collier's work. Remember, your support helps Alex Collier's knowledge and the messages from the Andromedans reach more people. If you'd like to support the channel even more, you can give us a super thanks tip by clicking the heart icon with a $sign. It really helps our team bring you more content. Also, be sure to visit alexcollier.org to sign up for our regular email newsletter. It's the best way to stay updated with the latest news, exclusive content, and upcoming live webinars. For the latest insights from Alex Collier, check out alexcollier.live. And if you want to explore over 250 past webinars, head over to alexcollier.tv. Thank you for being a part of this journey and supporting Alex Collier's work. We couldn't do this without you, and we're genuinely grateful for your support. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the vast mysteries of our universe. If you would like to see the Andromedan contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we hold a live online seminar every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information on upcoming live webinars, please visit alexcollier.org.